Hey everyone, it's Yankee Prepper. I didn't expect to do a video today, but I make all the bread that we consume in our household, and we're out of bread, so I had to make some bread. Thought I'd make a video on it. Maybe you'll get something out of it. There should be some educational value to it, I suppose, to share this with you. I'm using a Millmaster grain and cereal grinder. It's made in Idaho, and these are pretty spendy. You're going to spend, probably $500-600 for one of these. Mine did not cost me that. I inherited this from my parents, and they used it for 40 years, and I've been using it for almost 10. So I don't know, if you break up that $500-600 over 2 or 3 lifetimes, it's not very expensive at all. I expect to give this to my kids when I'm done. You can see that grinding grain really doesn't do any damage to the stones. If the end of the world doesn't happen, I can probably give this to my kids and they can use it to get ready for the end of the world. So anyway, I grind fresh wheat grown here in Minnesota on an organic farm in northwestern Minnesota. And I got his 08 spring crop, and I'm going to grind that today and make bread out of it. If you don't know, wheat is a great thing to store because it can last for 20 or 30 years in a 5-gallon bucket if you do it right, with hardly any nutritional loss to it whatsoever. The other thing is that wheat is so nutritional. You can't buy flour, even if it's whole wheat flour from the store, that is even going to come anywhere near fresh wheat that you can get from the farmer. I don't know what they do to flour in the store, but it's basically been reduced to a filler. Whereas wheat that you buy from the farmer, you're talking tenfold the amount of nutritional value. You can actually live on it. It's a holistic food, so it's got a great shelf life. And it has a high nutritional value. If things really got bad, you could basically just eat wheat and you would be fine. So anyway, let's get on to grinding the grain, and I'll show you how I make bread. Bread can be very time consuming if you do it all by hand. It helps to have a grinder that does it for you. And I'll show you another trick that I use to make making bread pretty easy, I think. So you just pour your wheat berries into your hopper. It's that easy. And here's bread. Now, at first you have to kind of discern. Oh, that's perfect. Wow, I rarely do that. You've got to kind of feel it to see, to adjust it. Usually I'd have to stop it and adjust this knob, but just by luck today I hit it just right. That's a real fine flour. If you cut it too fine, it'll clog up the stone fairly quick. In fact, that feels a little too fine. I'm going to back that off just a little bit. That's better. But certainly I can't say enough about stone ground wheat that you can get fresh. It's incredible. It keeps a long time. You can stick it in a 5-gallon bucket as long as you keep that moisture off. It'll keep a long time. It takes a little while to grind this, maybe 20 minutes, I guess. But there's such a huge difference in this bread. And when I cook it, my kids hang around me like vultures, and they can't wait for it to cool off and then dig into it. I have to make 2 or 3 loaves at a time because the first loaf between my wife, myself, and the kids will just be devoured on the spot. It's that good, guys. You got to take my word for it. Okay, when you're done, it'll be nicely ground, and I put it into a plastic container to keep the air off. Okay, I got my flour ground. I threw it in there with the rest of my recipe for my whole wheat bread. What? You guys didn't think I would actually need that, did you? No. I use machines. I do cheat. But in the end, I'll show you how that really doesn't make a difference. Just saves me a little time. I picked this bread maker up on Craigslist for free. Craigslist is amazing for getting equipment, and I think everybody should be on there gleaning the good stuff off every night. So I'm going to set this. I'll come back when the bread is kneaded, and then I'll put it in the oven myself so it looks like I did it myself. So I come back when the kneading part is done and it's risen a couple times. I let the machine do the work, and this is what I've got. It's not that I can't do the kneading, but if I have a machine to do it, I'd rather the machine do it. And the same as for grinding. If I have a machine to grind for me, I'd rather not do it with a big rock. Machines are helpful. Use them. So I punch it down, and it's hard to do this in one hand. Let it go. Don't forget to take out your spinner. And I've got my fresh wheat dough kneaded for me. And now I'm going to shape it into loaves. And okay, I got my loaves split up and I got my cuts up on top so they can expand. And I usually don't put egg wash on top of them, but for the video's sake I will, just to make them look nice. I don't care if they look nice, I just want them to taste good. Let me just brush this. I readied my pan with a little bit of olive oil and powdered it with flour. And I got my oven ready. A lot of people cover their bread when they put it in. I don't do that. I just stick a pan in the bottom with really hot water. That'll keep it from drying out. And I stick this in here and I let it raise for an hour. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. After about an hour, they've risen pretty good. So I'm going to start the oven and put them on for 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes. On at 400 degrees. Oh man. Look at that. See, that's bread. Nice. Alright, it waited about 15 minutes and cooled it down. I'm going to slice this open. If you guys have not had fresh whole wheat ground bread like this, you really should give it a try. It's unbelievable, and if you let the machine do the work, it's not as hard as you would think. Look at that, and this is so much more nutritious than the store-bought bread. Good stuff, man. That is good stuff.